Your comments about Bryce, do you feel like they were misconstrued? Because we talked about it on here, and I was kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's a little motivation. Which do you feel like your comments about him, not being elite right now, and or if he'll ever get back to being elite? Because you are
Well,
honest, and we appreciate honesty in baseball. That is like the greatest trait besides hitting homers.
and it's of course got a life of its own. I said so many things in a 1 hour press conference, and this is the one thing that gets out there. First of all, I mean, to me, Bryce Harper is one of the best players in the game of baseball. And when I say he didn't have, they asked me, what type of year did you think he had? And I said, he had a very good year. I don't think he had an elite year. And when I say that, when I think of Bryce Harper, it's a compliment because the reality is there are, I don't know, 8, 10 players in the game of baseball every year. When they're not, let's say, in the MVP consideration for whatever reason, sometimes it can be an injury factor, sometimes they just have a bad year, but whatever, it's not an elite year for them. So the reality is that he's a great player. He's a future Hall of Famer. This thing's got a life of its own. Now I've been reading that, oh, the Phillies may trade Bryce Harper. That couldn't be further from the truth. We love him. I think he's a great player. He's a very important part of our team. Have seen him have better years. I look for him to have better years. But I think what ends up happening, and this is not meant for him, and I was reading an article yesterday. It wasn't about Bryce, it was actually about Kyle Schwarber that Mike Schmidt talked about. And I thought it was so good. And I was looking back at my Miguel Cabrera days, probably the best, as good a player that I've been around year in and year out, and got to 33. And he had won the Triple Crown. He had been the MVP 2 years in a row, and he wasn't quite the same player. Well, Mike Schmidt's comments, because I asked him about Kyle, said, you're getting into your middle 30s, moving a little bit into your late 30s. If you can stay healthy, continue a really, really strong workout program in the off season. Your flexibility has to be there. Your bat speed obviously has to stay up. Your eyes have to stay. You've got to be able to see. I have a 20/20 vision when I played, and it's more important to get good eyesight as you go along. There's a lot of non-mechanical baseball swing issues that have to stay right. So basically, that's what happens with every player. I mean, the real now, I take my chances with Bryce more than most because Bryce is an elite talent and he's a very, very talented individual and he's driven. So I think that it's a shame where this has gone because it wasn't meant to be a criticism. It was just he didn't have a, to me, and when you talk about Bryce, and again, there's a few other guys, when they aren't in the MVP considerations, well, it's probably not as good a year as that they've had other times.